So we are focusing on revolutionizing early cancer screening. That's our mission statement. We're very proud of what we're doing. We have a very unique way of tackling this issue. So as you can see here, our test is very simple. All you have to do is just breathe into the mask for 3 minutes, put it back in the canister and send it back to the lab. That's all that is required from the user. Where the magic happens is in the lab. So in the lab, we combine two powerful things. First, the amazing sense of smell of canines, and then we combine it with a technology platform called Lucid. So basically, it has the engineering to process the mask, produce gas, introduce it to the dogs, and also we have an AI component. So we have sensors in the lab to monitor the dogs' both physiological and behavioral signals. And we have a lot of cameras and sensors. This whole plethora of information is being fed into machine learning, and that in turn helps us determine which sample is negative and positive at a very high degree of accuracy.
Some people might say, well, this sounds great, but this is dealing with something that's so important, like cancer. What do you say to those people, and how do you make sure that you do have that super accuracy that's so important in this space?
I'm a molecular biologist by training. When Spotted first approached me 3 years ago, I was skeptic. But then, as it happened, they just published their interim results from the clinical study, and I could not argue with the evidence. So we completed that study, 1,400 patients, 94% sensitivity across 4 cancers. You cannot argue with these results. We now actually launched the clinical study in the US just 2 months ago, and we're going to expand into other cancers as well. So the proof is in the pudding. We see the results, and hopefully we can go to market soon enough. We completed the study in Israel. It was a multi-site study, so in multiple hospitals. It was double-blind, so we didn't know the identity of the patients or the results. So the way it works, you deposit your predictions with a third party, and then there's a big reveal. Obviously, we lost a lot of sleep during that month. But now what we want to do is make sure that we match the cohort of our target market, which is the US market. Although the Israeli market is diverse in terms of the patients, there's different diversity to every country, so we want to make sure it works under this setting as well.
How does that work with the dogs? Because I've seen before them doing other things like detecting low blood sugar and things like that. Is it really like they have that sensitive of a smell that they can just figure it out? That's incredible.
Yeah, it's a great question. So the dog sensitivity, it's part per trillion. That's a lot. It's very sensitive. It's 3 orders of magnitude better than any artificial instrument. That's why we're using them as sensors. And I set aside the fact that they're great colleagues and fun to work with. So that's the reason why we're using them. Alone, it's not enough. That's why we have to bring in the technology component, but together you see that amazing results.
And when you think about those results and the power that this potentially has, where do you see it going? What do you see as being next? You said there are 4 cancers now that it can detect, so tell me what those ones are and then where you see this going as well.
Great, yeah, so right now we're targeting the big 4, so we're talking about breast, lung, colorectal, and prostate. We want to expand into other cancers. Now, if you ask me 5 years from now, obviously it could be any other medical condition. Remember, the sense of smell of the dogs, it's very malleable. So you can train them basically to sniff anything. You mentioned other canine units, right? We trust them with our lives, right? They sniff drugs, explosive, missing persons even. So there's no reason why we cannot apply this to other medical conditions and beyond.
And when you think about something like this, it's so exciting to think about the technology and what you can do with this. But also, I'm sure a lot of potential patients are a little wary. So how do you really plan to get this out there to people once it's ready to go, once all the testing's done? Do you plan to go through doctors and try to have them recommend it? Do you try to go straight to the consumer? How do you try to get people to actually use it?
Yeah, it's going to be a multi-layered strategy. So we are planning to sell it online through what we call the physician network. So a physician will have to review your request, and also deliver the results. That's one path that we're planning to take. Also, we have great partners. So we have health systems that we're collaborating with, and we plan to, so we're doing the clinical studies with them. We plan to also go to market together with them as well.
And when you think about the future, not just of this company, but kind of what this means for the whole medical space, how do you feel when you think about that? Is that exciting? What do you kind of see as next for the entire health and wellness industry, especially with this product in mind?
Sure. So if I can start from cancer, the fact that there are multiple treatments now, we see the rise of immunotherapy and gene and cell therapy. That's kind of the secret sauce. Why? Because now there's something to do about early detection. So I think the more diseases that we'll see where there are a lot of treatment options, it will make sense to expand and do early detection for those diseases as well. So it's very exciting.